Introduction: a pivotal meeting in Geneva. This Saturday marks a significant moment in international diplomacy as top U.S. and Chinese officials convene in Geneva for a high-stakes meeting aimed at easing escalating trade tensions. This icebreaker summit represents the first major dialogue between the two nations since the onset of the trade war, signaling a potential thaw in relations and a step towards resolving economic disputes that have impacted global markets. Background: the escalating trade war. The trade war between the U.S. and China has intensified over the past few years, with both nations imposing steep tariffs on each other's goods. The U.S. has levied tariffs up to 145% on Chinese imports, while China has retaliated with 125% tariffs on American products. These measures have disrupted global supply chains, increased consumer prices, and contributed to economic uncertainty worldwide. Key players: who's attending? Leading the discussions are U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Trade Representative Jamieson Greer, meeting with China's Vice Premier He Lifeng, the nation's top economic official. Their participation underscores the high-level commitment to addressing the trade disputes and finding common ground. Objectives: what both sides aim to achieve. The primary objective of this meeting is de-escalation. While a comprehensive trade agreement isn't expected immediately, both sides aim to lay the groundwork for future negotiations. Discussions will likely focus on tariff reductions, exemptions for specific products, and addressing broader economic concerns. Economic impacts: global market reactions. News of the upcoming meeting has already influenced global markets, with U.S. equity futures rising amid investor optimism. Businesses worldwide are closely monitoring the talks, hoping for signs of progress that could stabilize markets and reduce economic uncertainty. EU's strategic gambit: third pressure dynamics. As President Xi Jinping courts EU leaders through anniversary diplomacy, Brussels prepares $300 billion countermeasures against U.S. steel tariffs. This triangular pressure adds urgency to Geneva's talks, with 37% of global container shipping now rerouting from trans-Pacific routes. Challenges ahead: points of contention. Despite the willingness to engage in dialogue, significant challenges remain. Key issues include intellectual property rights, technology transfers, and market access. Both nations have deeply entrenched positions on these matters, making compromise difficult but essential for progress. Statements from officials, setting the tone. U.S. officials have emphasized the need for fair trade practices and a level playing field, while Chinese representatives stress mutual respect and oppose coercive tactics. These statements set the tone for the talks, highlighting both the potential for cooperation and the obstacles that lie ahead. Historical context: past U.S.-China trade relations. The U.S. and China have a complex trade history, marked by periods of cooperation and tension. Understanding this context is crucial, as past agreements and disputes inform current negotiations and the strategies employed by both sides. Potential outcomes: what to expect next. While immediate breakthroughs are unlikely, this meeting could pave the way for more structured negotiations and gradual easing of trade barriers. Success will depend on the willingness of both nations to make concessions and prioritize long-term economic stability over short-term gains. The Swiss mediation factor. Swiss President Kellersutter's discreet diplomacy paved the way for this neutral ground summit. Geneva's legacy in hosting 73% of U.S.-China technical talks since 2018 makes it the logical crisis venue. The art of the potential deal. Insiders suggest phased 25% tariff reductions on $150 billion tech goods as confidence builders. However, structural issues like state subsidies and IP transfers remain deal breakers. Digital trade agreements covering AI governance could emerge as dark horse provisions. Global ripple effects: beyond the superpowers. ASEAN nations report 9.7% export growth, filling U.S.-China gaps, while EU automakers face $12 billion in retaliatory tariffs. Saturday's outcome could determine whether the world economy tilts toward decoupling or managed competition. Conclusion: a step towards resolution. The Geneva meeting represents a significant step towards resolving one of the most impactful trade disputes in recent history. As the world watches closely, the outcomes of these talks could shape global economic dynamics for years to come.